The money I still got, the jewels I still got, the cars I still got, the mansions I still got. You either motivate it or you hate it.
Just residences making 100, 200 grand here or there, $50,000 not going to affect. But for those large investors, obviously that's becoming very concerning, because if you've got a building, big mall or something else, it could be worth $100 million. All of a sudden you've got a $10 million profit on there that's now going to be taxed at 37 or 40.
Look, man, we both made some real money, but you start burning through. You make $2-3 million a year, you burning through $100,000 a month. You ain't really got that much money.
He probably spending way more than that.
No, I'm talking regular dudes.
I see what
we
you're
say
saying.
we made $3 million, we burning through $100,000 a month.
Floyd Mayweather. The name is practically synonymous with money. From his luxurious lifestyle, dripping in diamonds and cruising in Bugattis, to his lavish spending habits, it always seemed like the money would never run out. But behind the scenes, according to his own accountant Dave Hall, things have been far from picture perfect. In fact, it's been chaotic enough that the man who once boasted over $1 billion in career earnings reportedly lost a jaw-dropping $500 million in just 6 months. That's not a typo. $500 million gone. According to Dave Hall, the problem wasn't just that Floyd was spending a lot, it was that he was spending way more than he was bringing in. His earnings may have once been in the hundreds of millions per fight, but those days are long gone. The exhibition bouts don't bring in anywhere near the same money, and even if they did, Floyd's lifestyle had ballooned to the point where nothing short of hundreds of millions in steady revenue could keep it afloat. The spending was relentless. Forget bills and taxes, Floyd would throw down $1.8 million on a single watch to celebrate his birthday. He was buying Birkins like candy, tipping his pilots $1,000 apiece, and casually adding 3 cars to his collection in a single day, including a Bugatti Chiron Pure Sport with a price tag north of $3 million. And that's just scratching the surface. He owns multiple private jets. Not 1, not 2, but 3 jets. One for himself, and another reportedly just for his entourage. He travels in them like they're Ubers. His car collection? Over 100 vehicles. We're talking Ferraris, Lamborghinis, McLarens, and Rolls-Royces stacked side by side in garages across multiple properties. He proudly boasts about the Sweet 16 lineup of cars, where Lambos and Maybachs sit in abundance like toys. But as Dave Hall pointed out, even someone earning $2 to $3 million a year who spends $100,000 a month isn't really as rich as they think. And Floyd wasn't spending $100,000 a month. He was burning through an estimated $5 to $7 million a month. Add taxes, business overhead, staff salaries, maintenance, and that money starts bleeding faster than anyone could imagine. And Floyd, notoriously resistant to traditional financial advisors, has long maintained that he doesn't need anyone telling him what to do with his money. That mindset, while bold, can be dangerous, because the truth is, Floyd wasn't just spending like a billionaire. He was spending like 5 billionaires stacked into one. His purchases weren't occasional luxuries. They were constant. Watches worth $18 million, chains that cost more than most homes, diamond-encrusted everything. Even his sneaker closet had to have a ladder installed because he had so many pairs of unworn Air Force Ones stacked to the ceiling. 1 fresh pair per day, then given away. Every day. It's a level of extravagance that feels almost fictional. And let's not forget the real estate claims. In early 2025, Floyd announced that he had purchased 62 multifamily buildings in Upper Manhattan for a mind-boggling $42 million. All cash, no partners. But when journalists and financial analysts dug into the public property records, there was no evidence confirming such a massive deal. The full ownership transfer hadn't been recorded, and whispers started to spread that the whole thing may have been exaggerated. Was this an attempt to flex for social media, or was it part of a broader illusion to mask growing financial instability? When you look at the pattern, it becomes clear. Floyd's wealth isn't just being spent, it's being used as a brand. Money Mayweather isn't just a nickname, it's an identity. Every new chain, every car, every mansion and private jet is a declaration that he's still on top. It's about being envied, being admired, and proving to the world that he hasn't lost a step. But behind the scenes, according to his accountant, the empire was crumbling. UFC star Conor McGregor even threw shade at Floyd, mocking the fact that he owns 3 jets while allegedly having tax problems. And Oscar De La Hoya was more direct, straight up claiming that Floyd is bankrupt. "Fighters like that always go broke," he said, pointing out that no matter how much you make, if you don't manage it, it can all disappear. Just ask Mike Tyson, who made $500 million in his career and blew through it all. Even Joe Rogan weighed in, saying that someone like Floyd, who spends millions just to maintain his lifestyle, needs money coming in constantly. That constant need for income is what's kept Floyd in the ring doing exhibition fights with influencers and unknown boxers long after his prime. The fights aren't for glory anymore. They're for survival, and fans are starting to notice. Promoters have struggled to sell out arenas for his recent bouts. One event at the O2 Arena in London was so poorly promoted, most people didn't even know it was happening. The financial success of these exhibitions has dwindled, and while Floyd still makes millions, it's nowhere near what he needs to sustain the hurricane of expenses he's created for himself. Despite all this, Floyd remains defiant. He talks about independence and controlling his own brand. He says he never needed Nike or Adidas to become a billionaire, that he stood on his own and beat athletes who had major corporate deals backing them. But independence doesn't protect you from reality. When the income stops matching the outflow, things break down. That's where Dave Hall comes back into the picture. According to Hall, Floyd forgot about the fundamentals. Bills, taxes, operational costs, all were being ignored or underestimated. When that happens at the scale Floyd operates, the consequences are brutal and fast. $500 million in 6 months isn't a slow decline, it's a free fall. And without immediate changes, it's not hard to imagine a headline that reads, "Mayweather files for bankruptcy," hitting the news sooner than later. Yet, even now, Floyd doesn't seem to be slowing down. He's still buying new cars, still adding watches to his collection, still treating himself to Himalayan Birkin bags, just because. His social media is a non-stop reel of wealth and flexing, a curated fantasy of limitless money. He tells fans, "You're either motivated or you hate it." But for many, that motivation has turned into concern. Because Floyd isn't just a celebrity, he's a blueprint. Generations of fighters have looked up to him, trying to replicate his model of becoming a money-making machine. But the deeper lesson might be that money isn't infinite, and even $1 billion can disappear if you don't respect it. Ryan Garcia once said that Floyd taught other fighters to chase the big money fights, to hold off on challenges until the payday was right. It changed the sport of boxing. Fighters became brands, and Floyd was the pioneer. But somewhere along the way, the focus shifted from the craft to the cash. And now, we're watching what happens when the cash flow tightens. At 48 years old, Floyd Mayweather still has the charisma, still has the fan base, and still has the ability to make money. But what he doesn't have is time. He's no longer the undefeated young star dazzling opponents with speed and skill. He's a businessman trying to juggle a lavish empire with uncertain returns. In the end, maybe Floyd's biggest opponent was never Pacquiao or Canelo. Maybe it was money itself. And if his accountant's warnings are true, Floyd might be on the ropes, facing the fight of his life against bankruptcy. If you found this story as shocking as we did, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a deep dive into the world of money, fame, and downfall.